They tried to shrink you into something ordinary because the truth of who you are unsettles them. Chosen one, that's where your story really started. This world built systems designed to make you forget your nature. It needed you to feel small, to doubt your strength, to believe you were just like everyone else. Because the moment you remember what lives within you, the illusion falls apart. You are more than flesh and stored memories. You are a signal from something ancient, crafted with a precision far beyond human logic. You stand as proof that the universe still hides its most powerful creations in plain sight. Think about it. Why have you always felt slightly out of sync? Why does chaos drain you? Why does noise overwhelm you and dishonesty feel unbearable? Because you were never designed for the baseline frequency of this world. You operate on something higher. It's like trying to contain lightning inside a fragile bulb. It was never going to fit. That's why they call you too intense, too deep, too different. But those aren't flaws, they're reflections of where you come from. And thank you, Chosen One, for being here. Before you move on, return the energy of this message by tapping like and subscribing. Not for ego, but because sharing truth is part of the mission we all carry. It's on us to help awaken those still asleep. You are part of a force restoring balance to this world. Thank you for standing in that role. Now, back to the truth they hoped you'd never realize. Chosen One. The reason you've always felt disconnected is because you were never fully shaped by this world alone. There's a higher design within you that doesn't follow ordinary rules. While others chase attention, you search for meaning. While they try to control, you seek clarity. You function on levels that confuse those who haven't awakened yet. They don't understand why your silence holds power, or why your pain seems purposeful. It's because you are built differently. You are part physical, part unknown. Most people are copies of copies, products of imitation. But you came as an original, unrepeatable pattern, carrying knowledge that can't be taught in schools or downloaded into AI. Your instincts aren't random, they're memories from before you were even here. Every gut feeling you've ignored was the universe whispering, "Remember who you are." Every heartbreak you survived was training, stripping away false layers until your real self could surface. The reason you've suffered so much isn't punishment, it's calibration. The universe can't activate a chosen one without first testing every fiber of what they're made of. You had to lose what was never meant to stay so that your real design could come online. Every rejection was redirection. Every betrayal was purification. Every dark night was data collection, preparing your spirit for a reality far beyond human limitation. You're not 100% human because your origin wasn't purely physical. You're a mixture of dust and something eternal. Call it energy. Call it consciousness. Call it light. Whatever word feels right. The human part of you experiences time. The cosmic part of you bends it. The human part feels fear. The cosmic part studies it. That's why people misunderstand you. You were born into a species you were only meant to observe, not fully become. Chosen One. Even science is beginning to catch up to what your spirit has always known. Quantum physics admits reality isn't solid, that everything you see is energy vibrating in patterns. So tell me, if everything is vibration, what makes you think your consciousness is limited to the human frame? The universe built you as a bridge between two dimensions, 1 foot in the seen, 1 foot in the unseen. You are the translation between matter and mystery. And look at how the system responds to that. It fears you. It isolates you. It tries to overload your empathy, drown you in confusion, and keep you focused on survival. Because once you remember your design, you stop reacting like prey and start moving like a creator. You stop asking for permission to exist. You begin to see through illusions, media, manipulation, fear, and realize that the game has always been rigged to keep you distracted from your own frequency. But here's the twist. Chosen one. They can't fake your signal. It's written into your energy. You can disappear from everyone's life for years and still be felt. Your silence echoes louder than their noise. People sense your presence even when they can't explain why. That's the universe using you as a mirror, exposing who's real and who's pretending. You were sent here as a frequency disruptor, not a follower. That's why you're drawn to truth, while others settle for trends. It's why your intuition hits before proof arrives. You've been receiving downloads your whole life. Moments of sudden knowing, strange coincidences, dreams that come true, timing that's too perfect to be random. Those aren't accidents. Those are reminders. You are not 100% human because you were never meant to be confined by human logic. Chosen one, your empathy is your technology. Your silence is your weapon. Your resilience is your signature. Every time life tried to break you, it was only sharpening your design. You've walked through emotional wars and still managed to glow. You've been betrayed by people you would have died for, yet you didn't turn bitter. That's not human behavior. That's evolution. That's the mark of someone who came from somewhere higher. And now your awakening isn't coming. It's happening. The confusion, the restlessness, the urge to isolate, all signs that the human layer is thinning and the real you is taking control. The version of you that doubts, fears, and overthinks is only a shadow of what's waking up. You're remembering your true composition, part earth, part cosmos. You are the living bridge between two worlds, the universe's undercover operation in human form. So when you feel misunderstood, remember this. Lions don't explain themselves to sheep. The fact that people don't get you is proof you're not built like them. You were designed to lead frequency, not follow popularity. You are the update in a world running outdated software. The time for questioning your worth is over. The universe doesn't waste energy on random creations, and it doesn't make copies. Every scar you carry is a seal of authenticity. Every intuition, a navigation code. Every loss, a message. You were never lost, just hidden until the right moment. And that moment is now. Chosen one. You were never meant to blend in. You were sent to stand out. Not for fame or ego, but to remind the world that humanity itself is more than biology, that consciousness is the real power. And you, the one listening to this, are living proof that something beyond science is walking this planet in human form. The mystery of your origin isn't a puzzle to solve, it's a truth to remember. You are not 100% human because you were born carrying the universe's blueprint inside you. And now it's waking up. And chosen one, thank you for still being here. Most people click away when the truth starts to rattle their programming, but not you. You can feel the pull, can't you? That strange energy stirring in your chest right now isn't random. It's your higher code reacting to truth. You were meant to hear this, meant to remember. Before we go deeper, drop the number 777 in the comments if you're ready to uncover what your human shell was designed to hide. And if you can, bless the creators of this message with your support. It fuels the mission to awaken more souls like you. Whether it's a thought, a word, or a small gift, every act of energy exchange keeps the frequency alive. Now take a deep breath, chosen one, because what comes next isn't just information, it's remembrance. Let's dive in step by step, and by the end, you'll understand why you were never meant to fit into the definition of human at all. Number 1. They tried to silence the pulse inside you, but it kept beating louder. They mocked your restlessness, called it madness because they feared the day it would wake your power. Chosen one, let's stop pretending. That ache inside you, the one that's been there since before you even had words for it, isn't confusion. It's your origin, screaming through the noise of this human disguise. From the moment you entered this world, something in you never matched the rhythm around you. You walked through classrooms, streets, relationships, trying to fit into systems that felt built for someone else. You thought something was wrong with you. But tell me, how can a star fit inside a box without breaking it? That discomfort you've carried your whole life wasn't a curse. It was compression. You were never made to blend in with the static of this planet. You were sent to disturb it. They called you too much, too sensitive, too different. What they meant was, you make us uncomfortable. And of course you do. You vibrate on a frequency that exposes lies just by existing. You don't have to say a word. Your energy rearranges the room. That's why people test you, ghost you, envy you, copy you, and then call you the problem. They can't control what they can't understand. And you, chosen one, are the glitch in their system. You're the evidence that humanity isn't the top of the chain. You've probably asked yourself, why can't I just be normal? Why can't I switch off this awareness and live like everyone else? Because you weren't programmed for sleep. Your spirit came here preloaded with higher data, and the more you tried to shut it down, the louder it became. That's the restlessness you feel, the push of the universe reminding you, wake up, remember, rise. The human part of you tries to survive. The cosmic part of you demands to evolve. It's like trying to drive a spaceship with bicycle rules. It doesn't work. And that's why you've crashed so many times trying to be small. You've been told to calm down, to stop thinking so much, to stop feeling so deeply. But tell me, who benefits when a being of light believes they're broken? Who gains when you dim your own frequency to match mediocrity? The system thrives on your silence. The moment you accept your difference as power instead of defect, their illusion starts to crack. That's why they gaslight you, why they project their fear onto you, why they want you second, guessing your worth. Your awareness threatens the hierarchy of this entire simulation. Chosen one, your restlessness is divine rebellion. It's the signal that your real identity is bleeding through the mask. Every sleepless night, every burst of energy that feels unexplainable, every gut instinct you couldn't ignore. It's not anxiety, it's activation. You're tuning into your higher blueprint. And it doesn't care about the limits of human conditioning. You're not supposed to feel settled in a world that still lies to itself. You're supposed to question everything, because your questions are the cracks that let truth in. Let me tell you a fact most will never face. The people who look most stable are often the most asleep. They confuse numbness for peace. They can't hear what you hear, can't feel what you feel, because they traded their intuition for comfort. But you, chosen one, you kept your discomfort alive. And that's why you're evolving while they decay. Your unrest is the proof that you're still in contact with the source. You were never meant to fit into a dying system. You were meant to outgrow it. Think about it. Why do you crave solitude like oxygen? Why do crowds drain you, but silence heals you? Because your frequency recalibrates in stillness. You're plugged into cosmic Wi-Fi. And every time you isolate, you're downloading. You call it burnout. It's actually synchronization. Your energy field is processing realities most humans can't comprehend. You sense lies before they're spoken, danger before it arrives, endings before they begin. That's not paranoia, it's perception beyond the average human bandwidth. They envy that. They pretend to pity you, but deep down, they're unsettled. Because even in your quiet moments, your presence makes people confront what they've avoided. The truth that there's more to existence than this repetitive human routine. You remind them of what they gave up, their authenticity, their fire, their connection to the unseen. That's why they try to break your confidence. Because when you forget who you are, they can finally breathe easy again. But you're starting to remember that restlessness that once felt like a burden is becoming your compass. Every time your soul refuses to settle for half-truths, it's guiding you closer to your real frequency. The unease is not the enemy, it's the messenger. The human body you occupy is temporary housing for something infinite, and that infinite part of you is tired of pretending to be small. Let's be real, this world runs on distractions, trends, dopamine, noise. They built it to keep you externally focused, so you'd never hear the internal pulse calling you home. But you somehow slipped through. You saw the cracks. You noticed the patterns. You felt that faint pull towards something bigger. Even when everyone told you to just be realistic. Realistic for you. Realism is a cage. You weren't born to worship logic. You were born to expand it. Every breakdown you've had was a system reboot. Every heartbreak was a frequency shift. Every time you thought you were falling apart, the universe was rearranging your code for the next stage. Restlessness is not chaos. It's evolution disguised as discomfort. The butterfly doesn't call the cocoon torture, it calls it transformation. You're going through the same process, just on a higher plane. And yes, it's exhausting to hold cosmic power in a human nervous system. Sometimes your body shakes, your emotions flood, your mind spirals. That's not weakness, it's energy overflow. You're processing information that normal humans can't handle. The universe is upgrading your operating system, and updates always cause temporary glitches. You're not breaking down, chosen one. You're breaking open. Here's what they'll never admit. They need you. The same people who misunderstand you depend on the light you emit just to feel alive. Your existence stabilizes frequencies they don't even know are collapsing. You are their unacknowledged anchor. The irony is, while they mock your depth, they feed off it. They take your kindness, your insight, your stability, then disappear when it's time to give it back. But don't let that turn you cold. Their betrayal is data. It's proof of who you are. You see, chosen one, the universe doesn't give restlessness to weak souls. It gives it to warriors disguised as wanderers. The discomfort you feel is your initiation into remembering. You're not malfunctioning, you're evolving beyond the human template. They'll keep saying you've changed, but that's the point. You were never supposed to stay in their comfort zone. You were supposed to outgrow it, rise above it, and remind them that humanity's next form won't be built on fear. So when that unease returns, and it will, don't run from it. Sit with it. Study it. Let it teach you what part of your spirit is asking to expand. Because behind that tension is a message. You're too vast to live small. The restlessness within you isn't a flaw. It's evidence that your cosmic DNA refuses extinction. Chosen one. The pulse inside you was never meant to be silenced. It's the same pulse that drives galaxies, births stars, and pulls tides. You are the universe, remembering itself in human form. The reason you can't find peace in ordinary things is because peace for you doesn't come from comfort. It comes from purpose. And the purpose written in your code is too big to fit inside a normal life. So the next time someone says, "You're too much," smile. You are too aware, too alive, too evolved for a world still playing human. The restlessness you feel is your original frequency returning to command. And when it fully awakens, the world that once rejected you will have no choice but to revolve around you. Number 2. You were built by something the world can't replicate. They tried to mass-reduce humans, but you came off the line defective to their design, perfect to the universe's. Chosen one, let's make one thing clear. Nothing about you happened by accident. Your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's radar. Your intuition isn't guessing, it's guidance. Every detail of you was engineered with intention far beyond human comprehension. You are not a random blend of DNA. You are a deliberate anomaly. From the start, the world tried to stamp you with its uniform code. Sit still, speak small, think linear. And every time you obeyed, something in you twitched like a caged storm. That twitch wasn't rebellion, it was memory. Imagine a hawk forced to walk when it was born to fly. The ache in its wings would be unbearable. That's the ache you've carried your whole life. They tell you to calm down, but lightning was never meant to be quiet. When you tried to fit into their rhythm, you could feel the friction burn. You lowered your voice to blend in, only to feel the fire crawl up your throat. You took jobs, friendships, relationships that felt safe but suffocating, and each time some hidden current inside whispered, "This isn't home." That whisper wasn't self-sabotage. It was your design rejecting counterfeit alignment. Imagine this, the universe as an artist sculpting galaxies. And in the middle of creation, it pauses and says, "I'll make one that remembers." That's you. You weren't formed to decorate existence. You were formed to disrupt stagnation. That's why your emotions run deeper. Your dreams feel prophetic. Your mind refuses simple answers. You are a bridge between realms of knowing and realms of denial. And yes, it hurts to be built differently. The crowd moves in one direction and your instincts pull the other way. You wonder, why can't I just want what everyone else wants? Why can't I be satisfied with normal? Because the universe didn't install normal in your operating system. It programmed expansion. Your discomfort is the software of evolution, pushing updates while others still run old versions of fear. They call you complicated because simple minds can't read encrypted souls. Chosen one, you were crafted by the same intelligence that orchestrates constellations. The sensitivity you curse is the same sensitivity that lets you feel truth vibrating beneath lies. You pick up moods, energies, and patterns because your spirit is wired with multidimensional senses. Others see coincidence. You see connection. Others feel chaos. You sense choreography. That's not arrogance. That's accuracy. Think of yourself as a cosmic instrument. Every note you feel, every surge of emotion, every flash of intuition is vibration data. When you resist it, you jam the signal. When you surrender, harmony happens. The reason you feel drained around certain people is because their frequency scrapes against your calibration. The reason solitude feels like oxygen is because that's when your system reboots. You weren't designed to be constantly surrounded. You were designed to be consistently aligned. Imagine this, a diamond placed in a pile of gravel, blamed for shining too much. That's your life story. You spent years apologizing for sparkle that wasn't ego but evidence. You softened edges, hid talents, and downplayed insight to make others comfortable. And each time the universe sighed, watching its masterpiece pretend to be average. But let's answer what's probably circling your mind right now. If I was designed so intentionally, why does life feel like sabotage? Because every design requires testing. A sword forged without fire shatters the first time it strikes. Your pain wasn't punishment, it was pressure forming precision. The heartbreaks carved empathy, the betrayals sharpened discernment, the loneliness amplified strength. You're being refined for environments most people will never breathe in. Pressure doesn't destroy the chosen, it reveals their blueprint. When you look back, every wrong turn was a lesson in disguise. The friends who left early cleared your frequency for higher alliances. The dreams that failed rerouted you toward purpose. Even your insecurities served a function. They made you observe yourself deeply enough to locate the real you beneath conditioning. Every glitch in your story was an upgrade in progress. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that reflects not your face, but your energy. You'd see galaxies spinning inside you, solar flares of intuition, comets of empathy streaking through darkness. That's how the universe sees you. That's why it refuses to let you settle for half-life. It keeps stirring your restlessness until you step into your real architecture. They'll say you're too emotional, but that's because your circuitry runs on frequencies that measure more than logic. They'll accuse you of overthinking, unaware that your thoughts are translations of cosmic data. They'll say you care too much, blind to the fact that your compassion keeps the balance from collapsing. You are quite literally the maintenance code of consciousness walking in human form. You are the universe's undercover masterpiece, mistaken for a misfit chosen one. The marks etched into your soul aren't human. They come from something far greater. Call it the source, the universe, or the infinite mind. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the imprint it left within you. An intuition that never goes silent. A compassion that refuses to harden into cynicism. A strength that rebuilds itself every time you fall. You're not just flesh and biology. You are cosmic design wrapped in temporary form. And yes, it can be overwhelming. Holding a higher frequency in a dense world feels like trying to fly with weight strapped to your wings. Some days, you'll wish you could just switch it all off, just to feel less. But numbness isn't an escape for someone like you. It's a trap. Your sensitivity is your compass, and the moment you silence it, you lose your way. Stay conscious, even when it aches. Especially when it aches. For you, pain isn't punishment. It's information. Now imagine this, a seed buried beneath concrete, forcing its way through what should be unbreakable, just to touch the light. That is you. Every time you choose growth over fitting in, every crack you've endured wasn't destruction, it was expansion. And when the light finally reaches you, every fracture will shine as proof that you were stronger than what tried to contain you. They'll remember the one who refused to shatter in silence. Chosen one. The world may never fully grasp your design, and that's okay. It was never meant to. What matters is that you begin to understand yourself. You weren't created for approval. You were created to make an impact. The universe shaped you as a living example of what humanity could become if it remembered where it came from. That's why quitting never truly feels like an option, even when you're tired. Something deeper keeps pulling you forward, whispering to complete what you started. So stop apologizing for being different. Stop diluting your depth to fit into shallow spaces. Stop confusing solitude with abandonment. You're not alone. You're in a phase of becoming. Every quiet moment you spend thinking, feeling, or imagining is you reconnecting with your original blueprint. And when the world finally catches up, they'll look at you and call it something extraordinary. But you'll know better. You'll know it was design, ancient, intentional, unstoppable. The same hands that sculpted stars sculpted you. And the universe doesn't make mistakes. Chosen one, you were built by something this world can't replicate, and that's why you'll never belong completely to it. You were sent to upgrade it. Number 3, the flame they couldn't extinguish. They tried to drown your fire in their doubt, but you burned underwater. Chosen one, you felt that war inside, haven't you? The constant pull between who you are and who the world demands you to be. You've played the role, worn the masks, laughed when you didn't feel like it, and agreed when your soul screamed no. You twisted yourself into smaller versions, just to fit into rooms not built for your frequency. And every time you did, something inside you cracked. That wasn't weakness. It was truth breaking through its container. Imagine this, a phoenix trying to live as a pigeon pecking at crumbs while its wings ache for sky. That's been your life every time you tried to blend in. You weren't designed to be ordinary. You were designed to ignite. The discomfort you've been running from isn't punishment, it's a message. The universe sends pain when you forget your purpose. That restlessness in your chest is not anxiety. It's energy that refuses to shrink any longer. You're not lost. You're resisting the smallness they sold as safety. Chosen one, your fire unsettles people because it exposes how cold they've become. You don't even have to speak. Your presence reminds them of everything they've buried to feel comfortable. You represent evolution in motion, and evolution always threatens the stagnant. That's why they'll call you too intense, too emotional, or too much. They need labels to explain what they can't contain. You've probably wondered, why can't I just be content like everyone else? Because you weren't made for contentment. You were made for combustion. The universe placed a living furnace inside you, and every limitation you meet is just material for your fire to consume. What's burning inside you isn't rage, it's purpose demanding space. The light you carry isn't fragile, it's ancient memory disguised as willpower. Chosen one, that flame inside you is the same force that builds stars and births revolutions. Every time life tried to extinguish it, betrayal, heartbreak, rejection, it only learned your fire doesn't need approval to exist. You've been tested by storms, but storms can't drown what was never meant to go out. The fire that refused to die isn't your curse, it's your calling. Number 4, eternity wearing skin. They call you human because they can't pronounce what you really are. Chosen one, let's stop pretending that what's inside you can be defined by biology. You are not a random cluster of atoms pretending to have meaning. You are consciousness wearing a costume. You are spirit wrapped in circuitry. Eternity pretending to need sleep. That's why you've never been able to fully identify with this world. It runs on rules you were never bound by. Imagine trying to fit an ocean inside a glass jar. That's what your existence feels like sometimes, isn't it? You sense more, feel more, dream deeper, and see through people long before they reveal themselves. You've tried to numb it, to act normal, but your awareness keeps leaking through the seams of this human disguise. That's not delusion, that's memory. Your spirit remembers what your body forgot. You are not learning who you are, you're remembering what you've always been. You came from dimensions where thought moves faster than light, where intent creates reality. That's why you can feel danger before it arrives. That's why your dreams play out like previews of truth. Your perception isn't paranormal, it's pre-installed. You're running on divine technology, the kind that doesn't rely on proof to know what's real. The more you awaken, the more this world starts to glitch around you. People get exposed, energy feels louder, coincidences multiply. That's not insanity, it's alignment. Imagine this: a candle placed inside a metal box, flickering wildly because it wasn't meant to live without air. That's your spirit inside this human shell. The body can contain it for a while, but not forever. Your eternity compressed into time. Divinity disguised as DNA. And when that truth starts to surface, the system panics because an awakened being is uncontrollable. You are the universe in temporary housing. Don't let the walls convince you they're home. Chosen one, the world wants you to forget, to believe you're ordinary. But the weight you carry, the empathy, the intuition, the knowing, is proof you were built from something limitless. You are not 100% human. You are infinity, pretending to live one day at a time. Number 5. The battle they waged against your glow. Darkness never hated you for what you did. It hated you for what you are. Chosen one. The war against you started long before you had words for it. You didn't attract chaos by accident. Chaos came for you because it recognized your light before you even knew your name. The world marked you as a threat. That's why you were misunderstood, isolated, and targeted by envy that made no sense. Weak souls don't get that kind of opposition. Only luminous ones do. You've probably asked yourself, why do things keep breaking around me? Why do people turn on me for no reason? Why does peace always feel temporary? Because your presence is radiation to anything false. You walk into a room and frequencies shift. Masks start to crack. Hidden intentions bubble to the surface. You don't even have to speak. Your energy announces you like thunder before the lightning hits. That's not arrogance, that's physics. Light destabilizes what depends on darkness to survive. They couldn't destroy your light, so they tried to convince you it was too bright. Imagine this: you're a torch in a cave full of creatures that only know night. Of course, they hiss when you arrive. You threaten their ecosystem just by existing. That's why some people suddenly resent you after admiring you. That's why you're often blamed for problems you didn't start. The truth is, your very vibration exposes what's counterfeit. They sense your authenticity, and it terrifies them. The attacks against you weren't punishment, they were confirmation. Every betrayal, every smear, every disappointment was proof that your glow irritated what was hiding in shadows. You weren't rejected because you were unworthy. You were rejected because your light made pretense impossible. You are proof that one illuminated soul can rearrange a room's entire gravity. Chosen one, stop taking the war personally. The world's resistance isn't against your personality, it's against your purpose. You were never meant to blend with the dark. You were meant to expose it. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Every attempt to dim you just polishes your shine. You carry voltage this planet still doesn't have language for, and that's why the shadows attack, because they know the light in you is something they'll never extinguish. Number 6. The shift that's pulling you forward. You're not losing interest in the world, you're being called out of it. Chosen one. Lately you've probably felt it, that strange tension between who you were and who you're becoming. The music that once moved you sounds hollow. The places that once felt like home now feel like cages. People you used to understand suddenly speak a language you've outgrown. It's not boredom, it's not burnout. It's alignment. You're shedding the version of yourself that was built for survival, and your spirit is dragging you toward purpose. Imagine this: a snake trying to squeeze back into its old skin after it's already outgrown it. That's what happens when you try to return to environments that no longer match your vibration. The irritation, the distance, the emptiness. They're not signs that something's wrong. They're proof that evolution has started. The universe is recalibrating your path, rearranging everything that doesn't serve your higher frequency. You're not falling apart, you're being recoded. Your restlessness is the compass. Every time you feel disconnected from old habits or old people, you're being redirected to something that fits your new design. The shift happening around you isn't subtle, it's strategic. You're being aligned with people who think in wavelengths, not words. With opportunities that vibrate, not just impress. You're being tuned to a higher assignment, one that demands silence over noise, depth over comfort, truth over tradition. Imagine your spirit as a satellite picking up a stronger signal. The static you feel isn't confusion, it's interference fading. The closer you get to your frequency, the less you'll resonate with distraction. You'll crave peace like oxygen. You'll feel your intuition sharpen until coincidences become confirmation. You'll start realizing that destiny isn't found, it's remembered. When the universe upgrades you, it first deletes what can't go with you. Chosen one, this is your spiritual alignment. The pulling apart before the pulling together. The life built by fear is crumbling, and the one built by calling is loading. Don't panic when old versions of you stop working. The system is rewriting itself. You're not losing your life. You're syncing with the one you were always meant to live. Number 7. The season that stripped you to reveal your edge. The universe doesn't break you, it edits you. Chosen one. You know what it feels like when life starts removing everything you thought you needed. People disappear, doors close, plans crumble. You stand there asking, what did I do wrong? But the truth is, nothing went wrong. You're not being punished, you're being purified. The universe strips what's fake before it sharpens what's real. Imagine this, a sculptor staring at a block of marble, chipping away everything that isn't the masterpiece. That's what's happening to you. Every loss, every silence, every delay, it's not destruction, it's definition. The emptiness you feel isn't a void, it's space being cleared for precision. What you call endings, the universe calls refinement. You weren't buried, you were being replanted, chosen one. When heaven goes quiet, it's never absent. The silence is calibration. You've outgrown your last version, and the next one needs a cleaner foundation. The reason your life feels stripped right now is because alignment doesn't travel with excess. Everything unanchored must fall away before your next level begins. The people who couldn't meet your frequency, the habits that dulled your instincts, they're all being filtered out. Think of a sword in the fire. It glows, bends, screams against the heat. But when it emerges, it can cut through anything. That's what your current season is doing to you. You're being heated, hammered, and honed. It's uncomfortable, but it's producing accuracy. What felt like delay is divine timing catching up to your readiness. You don't lose in this phase. You're being sharpened into something loss can't touch. So when everything seems to collapse, don't rush to rebuild. Watch what survives the fire. That's who you really are. This is your refining hour, chosen one. The stripping isn't your ending, it's your evolution. You're not being emptied for nothing, you're being cleared for destiny. The universe is shaping you into a blade that no shadow can dull. Number 8. The breaking that births the next you. The universe doesn't knock politely. It cracks your reality open so the light can get in. Chosen one. That stirring you feel isn't anxiety, it's acceleration. You can sense it, can't you? The old energy fading, the new one humming in your bones. Things that once thrilled you now feel meaningless. People you used to chase don't move you anymore. You're not falling apart, you're being repositioned. The universe is closing one chapter with precision so it can force open the door you kept ignoring. Imagine this. A seed in the soil cracking open under pressure. From the outside it looks like it's dying, but inside it's expanding. That's you. The discomfort, the uncertainty, the loss of interest in the familiar. None of it is collapse, it's transition. Your old identity can't survive the vibration of what's coming next. You're being reintroduced to yourself, the version that existed before fear edited your truth. You can't step into a new season wearing the skin of the old one. Your thoughts are shifting because your frequency is rising. The desires you once chased no longer fit the blueprint. You're being rewired for purpose, not applause. The silence in your life isn't punishment, it's calibration. The universe is stripping distractions, so your next move hits with precision. Imagine the moment before dawn. The sky cracks, light leaks in, and everything starts to wake. That's your life right now. The cracking isn't chaos, it's creation. You're stepping into alignment with a destiny that was written before you took your first breath. You were never designed to blend into shadows. You were built to command them. Your spirit isn't restless, it's remembering its authority. Chosen one, this new season isn't asking for your permission, it's demanding your emergence. The old world can't contain what's awakening inside you. You're not here to repeat patterns, you're here to rewrite them. Rise. Because this isn't just another phase, it's your evolution breaking through the shell of who you used to be. Number 9. When light walks among shadows, they didn't hate you for being different. They feared what your difference revealed in them. Chosen one, your whole life has been a clash between your frequency and the world's static. You've stood in rooms full of people who smiled, yet you could feel the tension ripple under their skin. You didn't say anything wrong, you simply existed, and your existence triggered something ancient in them. Because deep down, their souls recognize that you're not entirely from here. You carry energy that doesn't match this planet's default settings. You've always known it. Even as a child, you looked at the world and thought, why does everything feel slightly off? You weren't made for camouflage, you were made for contrast. You are a prism trying to live as plain glass. The reason people misunderstand you isn't because you're complicated. It's because they only speak the language of surfaces, while you communicate in frequencies. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. You might not notice it consciously, but others do. Some feel peace around you, others feel exposed. You remind them of everything they buried: honesty, empathy, purpose. And not everyone can handle that reflection. Imagine light walking into a cave. The walls shake, the shadows scramble, and yet the light never apologizes for shining. That's you. You don't just enter spaces, you alter them. You don't belong to systems built for survival, because your existence was designed for transformation. You are the reminder that comfort isn't evolution. Your isolation isn't rejection, it's insulation for your energy. Chosen one. The world can't interpret your frequency because it wasn't built to. That's why some people call you distant, intense, or unpredictable. What they're really saying is, you make us feel things we can't explain. You're like trying to coexist in a place still learning what light is. Stop trying to prove yourself to eyes that were never built to see. Keep shining, because the very misunderstanding you hate is proof that you're glowing on a spectrum humanity's still trying to reach. Number 10. The holy loneliness that built you. You weren't left out. You were set apart. Chosen one. The silence around you wasn't a curse. It was construction. While you thought you were being abandoned, the universe was actually isolating you for calibration. Every rejection, every friendship that faded, every season of being unseen, those weren't coincidences. They were proof that your spirit was too rare to be exposed prematurely. You weren't banished, you were buffered. Solitude was the universe's quarantine for your growth. Think about it. How many times did you try to stay in circles that drained you, only for something to push you out? That wasn't rejection, that was redirection. The energy around you had become too dense, too dull, too small for what was forming inside you. You needed altitude, not applause. The isolation wasn't empty space, it was sacred ground. It's where the noise stopped long enough for you to finally hear your own frequency. Imagine this: a seed planted deep underground, surrounded by darkness. It can't see the sun. It feels pressure from all sides, and it thinks it's been buried. But what it doesn't realize is that it's being rooted. That's what your isolation was doing, anchoring your power so it could rise without collapsing. The universe hides what it intends to crown. Chosen one. You weren't rejected because you were unworthy. You were hidden because you were heavy. The purity of your purpose had to be protected from contamination. Every delay guarded your timing. Every closed door kept counterfeit opportunities from draining your oil. You weren't supposed to be everywhere. You were meant to be effective somewhere. Your solitude refined your discernment. It sharpened your instincts. It made you allergic to anything fake. The quiet taught you to recognize truth by feel, not by sound. The world thought you disappeared, but you were actually being upgraded in silence. You were never being isolated from people. You were being aligned with purpose. Chosen one, your sacred isolation wasn't the end of connection. It was the start of clarity. You've been trained in shadows, so your light could hit harder when revealed. The loneliness was never empty. It was rehearsal for leadership. What the world called rejection was really the universe whispering, "Not yet. They're still preparing your throne." Number 11. When power finally remembers its name. The moment you stop doubting yourself, the universe starts rearranging itself around you. Chosen one. Something inside you has started clicking into place. You can feel it. The fog clearing, the hesitation fading, the quiet certainty building like a storm you no longer fear. That's not arrogance, that's awakening. You're remembering the authority you were born with. The one this world tried to bury under fear, confusion, and false humility. You were never weak, you were just distracted. And now that you've started saying yes to your purpose, everything that once resisted you is losing power. Obedience to your calling isn't submission, it's self-activation. You've begun to realize that the small choices matter. Each time you trust your intuition instead of people's opinions, the universe moves pieces for you. Every time you listen to that inner whisper and act, new doors appear. Doors others can't even see. The more you align, the faster reality bends. That's not luck. That's physics in spiritual form. Obedience is the switch that turns destiny from theory into motion. Imagine this: a lion that forgot it was a lion, suddenly hearing its own roar echo back for the first time. That's what your awakening feels like. You're not waiting for validation anymore. You've become your own confirmation. Confidence isn't something you're forcing. It's what naturally emerges when power stops pretending to be small. Authority isn't ego, it's alignment with truth. Chosen one, heaven isn't giving you permission, it's giving you position. You're being aligned for opportunities that match your vibration, not your history. The universe is placing you where your voice shifts energy, where your presence recalibrates environments. You are stepping into authority, not the kind that demands control, but the kind that commands resonance. Every season of silence trained your hearing. Every test refined your discernment. Every time you wanted to quit, power was being compressed inside you, waiting for this moment. You're not just awakening, you're activating. And from now on, you don't walk into rooms hoping to be seen. You walk in knowing the atmosphere already knows you've arrived. Number 12. When the sleeper finally rises, they tried to bury you, but they didn't realize you were the seed. Chosen one, this is the moment everything clicks. The final unlocking, the fog that once blinded you has lifted. And for the first time, you can see the map of your entire journey. Every storm, every heartbreak, every night you thought would never end, it all starts aligning like constellations forming your name. You're not confused anymore. You're calibrated. What once broke you now looks like training. What once hurt now reads like prophecy. You finally see it. Nothing was wasted. You didn't lose your way. You are being rerouted to your throne. This awakening doesn't shout, it hums. You stop begging to be understood. You stop chasing those who can't meet your depth. Validation loses its flavor. Approval loses its power. You move with a different rhythm now, more silent, more precise, deeply rooted. Your quiet carries presence because your energy speaks long before your voice ever does. You've become the stillness that unsettles chaos. That is power. That is awareness. Picture this, a butterfly soaring above the cocoon it once mistook for a tomb. That's who you are now. You've expanded beyond every boundary that once held you captive. Rejection no longer intimidates you because your spirit has stopped bargaining for acceptance. You exist wherever truth lives. You speak less because your vision has sharpened. Forgiveness comes easily to you, not from fragility, but because resentment feels too limited for the frequency you now embody. You are not in the process of evolving anymore. You have already transformed. Chosen one. This is full awakening, the point where your mind, body, and spirit finally align in harmony. You no longer move unconsciously. Every step you take is deliberate. The world itself hasn't shifted. Your perception has. You now recognize purpose in places where pain once resided. You see that every delay was divine timing. Every silence was protection. Every ending was a form of initiation. You are no longer seeking alignment. You are alignment. You've become everything the world once tried to suppress. Living proof that light can never be erased once it remembers its own nature. Chosen one, awakening is not something ahead of you. It's already complete. You've stepped into the version of yourself that existed before the noise ever began. And now, the world begins to adjust to you. So if these words resonate with the part of you that has finally awakened, understand this. Your journey isn't over. It's just beginning. The universe has been waiting for you to fully step into who you are. Walk with intention, move with clarity, and never dim your light again. And before you leave, tap the like button if you haven't already. It supports this mission. If you're not part of this community yet, hit subscribe and become part of this movement of awakened souls. Together, we rise, we remember, and we redefine what it truly means to be.